You'll also receive $1,600 off. Now you can enjoy the best of both worlds, the therapeutic benefits of a warm, soothing bath that can help increase mobility, relieve pain, boost energy, and even improve sleep. Or, if you prefer, you can take a refreshing shower, all in one product.
Call now, 1-800-677-5778.
My moderate to severe Crohn's symptoms kept me out of the picture. Now I have Skyrizi.
I've got places to go and I'm feeling free. Controlling my Crohn's means everything to me. Control is everything to me.
And now I'm back in the picture. Feel significant symptom relief at 4 weeks with Skyrizi, including less abdominal pain and fewer bowel movements. Skyrizi helped visibly improve damage of the intestinal lining. And with Skyrizi, many were in remission at 12 weeks, at 1 year, and even at 2 years.
Don't use if allergic. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and TB. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines. Liver problems leading to hospitalization may occur when treated for Crohn's.
Now's the time to take control of your Crohn's.
Control is everything to me.
Ask your doctor about Skyrizi, the #1 prescribed biologic in Crohn's disease.
Audiences are loving Red One and calling it a blast for the whole family.
Now we're talking.
It's one of the best Christmas films ever and a must-watch to kick off the festive season.
We're coming at you.
Red One, rated PG-13, now playing.
I got this KitchenAid stand mixer for only $56.
DealDash.com. Online auctions since 2009. This PlayStation 5 sold for only 50 cents. This iPad Pro sold for less than $34. Go to DealDash.com and see how much you can save.
At Public Rec, we're on a mission to make comfort look good. It starts with our best-selling pants, the Daymakers. A first-of-its-kind technical pant that's more comfortable than jeans and more stylish than sweats. The secret is in the sizing. With Public Rec, you can choose your waist and length to guarantee a perfect fit. So you can be comfortable and feel confident always. The Daymakers by Public Rec.
My hair was thinning all around my hairline.
My dermatologist recommended Nutrafol. It's 100% drug-free and clinically tested.
My hair is longer, thicker.
Nutrafol is life-changing for me.
Get growing at Nutrafol.com.
Good morning and welcome to a special post-Thanksgiving edition of Morning Joe. It's now 9 a.m. on the East Coast. We're on tape this morning with some of our top discussions from recent weeks. Take a look.
Yes, and how many seas must the white dove sail before she sleeps in the sand? Yes, and how many times must the cannonballs fly before they're forever banned? The answer, my friend, is a blowing in the wind. The answer is blowing in the wind.
That was the great Bob Dylan back in 1963 performing the classic song Blowing in the Wind. That song, along with Dylan's life, are celebrated in the new book from Pulitzer Prize-winning writer Peggy Noonan, entitled A Certain Idea of America. The Wall Street Journal columnist draws on her previous writings, hoping to teach readers how to see and love the United States. And Peggy joins us now. Peggy, it's good to see you.
It's wonderful to see you. Good morning, Mika. Good morning, Joe.
Good morning, Peggy. It's so great to have you here. You know, your book is such a wonderful read, and it reminds me in part of Charles Krauthammer, who I just absolutely loved his work and writing. When Charles wrote his last book, he said, "This isn't going to be about the day-to-day of politics, the messy details that will not survive decades. I'm going to write about things that matter, bigger things that matter." And that's what you say here. This isn't about the day-to-day scrum of politics. It's about something bigger. Talk about it and why you decided to write this book.
Well, a publisher came to me and said, let's do a collection. And I thought, I don't know about that. And we looked at what I'd written the past few years, and we continually saw a kind of attempt to celebrate great lives and see America in some sort of fresher way than perhaps we'd been seeing it for the past 10 years. And we simply picked columns that were about great men and great women, great moments in history, great literature, geniuses like Bob Dylan, who's not only, of course, an iconic figure and a great songwriter, but a winner of the Nobel Prize in Literature. So we weren't leaning towards some sort of positivity, but we were leaning towards there are good things here. Let's talk about them.
Well, and let's talk about them. First, though, if you don't mind, if we don't talk about the scrum of politics, the current situation, because I think about you, and you have sort of this sort of perfect arc to explain a lot about what's happened to the Democratic Party. If I remember your bio right, you were out as a young child with JFK flyers. Your family was Democratic. Yes. You came from like Mike Barnacle and Chris Matthews. You came from a Catholic, Irish Catholic family. And we just had on a few minutes ago Sherrod Brown, who was really a champion of working families and seemed better connected to working families in Ohio up until this election than, I think, any Democrat on the scene. And he got blown out. And so we asked him, he's still grappling with it. I'm curious, as somebody that has seen this full arc, what do you think, the disconnect between working class families and Democrats, what do they need to do in your mind to reconnect?
Well, I listened to Senator Brown very closely, and I thought his mind was very much on the right things, but this is the way I see it. Going through my life from the time I was a kid to the time I was a young woman, the Democratic Party was seen as three things, it seems to me. A, it was the party of the little guy. It was the party of the nobody. It was the party that was going to take care of people who were not protected in America. Two, it was the party of generous spending. You know, they weren't too tight with the purse strings. They thought, spend the money, we'll make it up at the end. Three, they were the anti-war party by the 60s and 70s. Joe, it seems to me they have ceded that territory to the current Republican Party, to the Trumpian Party. The Trumpian Party, Republican Party, says, we are the party of the little guy. We are the party of generous spending. You think you guys can spend? Hold my beer. You know, exactly. we are the anti-war party. Yeah. So, Mika, if the Democratic Party was resting on these three pillars, little guy, anti-war generous spending, and that's all gone. And they seem now the party of an academic administrator at Brown University, not the little guy. And they seem more activist in the world. And they are only as big spending as the Republicans. They've lost their pillars. That means they either have to rebuild those pillars or find new pillars.
Mike.
So that's how it seems to me.
Yeah.
Peggy, I was skimming through the book earlier today, about 5:30 in the morning, and I came to a dead halt when I got to page 188, and your portrait in 2018 of a man I know and have truly admired, and he's horribly miscast by many in the media. It's Wisdom of a Non-Idiot Billionaire, Ken Langone. Tell America about Ken Langone.
Ken Langone was a little kid on Long Island, an Italian-American from a plain, regular family, born, I think, perhaps about 8 decades ago, and went on and tried, you know, as an ambitious kid, a poor student, but an ambitious guy, got through college with the help and encouragement of a lot of people, tried to get a job on Wall Street because he thought, I'm an American, I'm going to get rich. On Wall Street, they said, hey, you're a tall Italian-American kid. You can work in the back with the Irishmen and the Jewish guys. You know what I mean? It was a whole other world 50 or so years ago. Anyway, he started pretty much his own life as an investment banker, and he went on to invest in great things, and he was a very wealthy and philanthropic person now. And he wrote a book about, hey, guys, you know, you can complain about this, complain about that, but free market capitalism is the thing that allows lives to happen because it makes jobs, which allow families and burgeoning and generosity. So he's just a regular American, and I thought, you know what, give him some praise.
Peggy, as I was looking at the book this morning, I remember you and I were on a panel at a church taping some TV show years ago, and it struck me you did a whole column and opened the book with Billy Graham. And though I grew up in a Black Baptist Pentecostal environment, Billy Graham was an idol to my mother. And one of the things that people don't know about his evangelism is he reached out to Dr. Martin Luther King. Talk about Billy Graham's impact on America, where he was the president's preacher across party lines for decades and took courageous stands, even though he was the, if I would use the term, godfather of American evangelistic kind of religious tradition.
Yeah, thank you, Reverend Al. He was an ecumenical figure, Billy Graham. It was the years just after World War II when he came up, and he was this young Southern preacher, and he wanted to bring Christ to the masses. So he started holding rallies, and word got around, and the rallies got really huge, and people who had previously not had faith through, say, the Great Depression and World War II, or had seen their faith grow vague or without an animating spirit, they started to listen to him. They flocked to his rallies. They invited their friends. But the ecumenical part was that he wasn't saying, be a Protestant, be a Catholic, be this or that. He was saying, love Christ. This is who he is. And talking about him and reading, he had nothing in his notes but the Bible, which he would quote. And he became a great figure. You know, there's a beautiful portrait of him in the British, I guess, Netflix series, The Crown, in which he goes to London, Billy Graham, and gives a series of fabulous rallies in England. And the Queen of England sees him and thinks, my faith isn't so great. Maybe I could meet with him, and calls him in, and they have lunch, and they talk about the more important things in life. I just think, you know, when I was coming up, Reverend Al, and pretty much when you were coming up, guys like Billy Graham were considered so impossibly old-fashioned and, you know, some kind of Southern kind of gavel-smacking phony. And he wasn't that. He was a great man, and he gave his life to his beliefs, and he really meant it.
The new book, A Certain Idea of America, is on sale now. Pulitzer Prize winner and New York Times bestselling